The struggle against wild boars is a continuous one, as these animals cause damage throughout the year. Each season presents unique challenges, from the rustling leaves of autumn to the snow-covered slopes of winter. Despite the differences, the goal remains the same: to limit the destruction these animals leave behind. During autumn, the forest takes on vibrant new colors, and wild boars become especially active as they prepare for the harsh winter. Hunters rely on patience and strategy, moving silently across the forest floor. When a boar emerges, precise action is required to prevent further damage to farmland and vegetation. In these moments, every decision carries weight, as the balance between humans and nature is once again tested. Elsewhere in the forest, trained hounds are often used to locate and corner the animals. Their barking signals the exact location, guiding hunters closer to their target. In such encounters, the clash between human persistence and the wild animal's strength reaches its peak, often resolved in just seconds. As winter arrives, the hunt changes dramatically. Snow and icy winds make the terrain treacherous, but the white surface reveals every footprint, offering clear tracks to follow. Hunters take advantage of these signs, positioning themselves carefully along snowy trails where herds often pass. From a distance, entire groups of wild boars can sometimes be seen moving steadily through the snow. When the moment comes, accuracy and timing are essential. A single shot can scatter the herd, sending them fleeing into the distance. Yet, the tracks they leave behind ensure that their path can still be traced. Each step forward is guided by patience, observation, and respect for the unpredictability of nature. In the heart of winter, encounters with wild boars can be particularly intense. The animals may charge when threatened, forcing hunters to act swiftly. These moments highlight the raw power of the wild, where survival instincts collide. The outcome often determines not only the protection of nearby farmland, but also the safety of local communities. Ultimately, every successful hunt is not just an end in itself, but also a safeguard for the agricultural cycle and the stability of the environment. While the challenges of autumn and winter may differ, the purpose remains constant: reducing the damage caused by wild boars and protecting the livelihoods of those who depend on the land. The harvest season had arrived, but the expected joy was shattered by scenes of destruction. Cornstalks were crushed, husks were torn apart, and the field bore new signs of devastation. The culprits were clear: a herd of wild boars. What represented months of effort was reduced to ruins in an instant. Farmers, unwilling to surrender their crops, prepared themselves to protect the land. Cornfields, once a symbol of pride, had become a scene of devastation caused by these relentless animals. The damage spoke for itself, leaving no need for explanation. Soon, a massive dark figure rushed across the field with the speed of lightning. Shots were fired, but the animal, though wounded, continued its frantic attempt to escape. With steady aim, another decisive shot finally brought it down. No matter how determined these wild animals might be, they could not outmatch the guardians of the land. Hunting them in the cornfields, however, was never simple. The fields offered countless hiding spots where wild boars could conceal themselves, waiting for the right moment to charge. While moving through an irrigation ditch, one of the hunter's dogs suddenly advanced, signaling danger. In an instant, a large boar appeared from the brush. The first shot startled the animal, sending it into a frenzy through the tall grass. It did not get far. A second, clean shot ended its run. Another intruder had been stopped before it could cause more damage. Moments later, 2 more boars burst from the undergrowth. The hunters quickly reacted, firing at the charging animals. One collapsed immediately, while the other vanished into the thick brush, escaping pursuit. The encounter highlighted the unpredictability and challenges of such hunts. Dogs played a crucial role in these situations. By latching onto a fleeing boar's leg, they prevented escape, giving hunters time to act. Another shot brought down the animal, ending the struggle. Such coordinated efforts between hunters and dogs proved essential in dealing with the problem. As the hunt continued, more wild boars emerged. Quick reactions and precise shots brought them down one by one. By the time the sun set, relief replaced tension. Hunters carried their harvest back to the village, exhausted but determined, having prevented further destruction of their crops. This was not an isolated incident. In recent years, regions with extensive farmland, such as central areas of France, have faced increasing problems due to the uncontrolled growth of wild boar populations. Fields have been trampled, irrigation systems damaged, and crops destroyed. Even more concerning is the risk of diseases carried by these animals. To address the situation, local authorities have called upon hunting communities to help regulate the population. Groups of hunters are often divided into teams of 4 to 6 members, each stationed in areas where wild boars are known to move. From hidden positions behind trees and brush, they wait for opportunities to reduce the numbers of these destructive herds. Despite careful planning, not every attempt succeeds. At times, shots miss their targets, causing the animals to scatter and making the task more difficult. Yet the commitment remains strong, as the balance between agriculture and wildlife continues to demand constant effort and vigilance. Wild boars are among the most destructive animals to agricultural land, and their rapid reproduction makes population control a serious challenge. In many rural regions, wild boars often move in large herds. When they gather in groups, the damage to crops and surrounding areas can be devastating. To manage this threat, hunting is sometimes used as a method of population control. Patience is an essential factor, as these animals are highly alert and usually appear in unpredictable patterns. Success depends on precise aim, often targeting vital areas such as the head or lungs, in order to minimize suffering and prevent unnecessary damage to the environment. During the day, herds can scatter quickly, making them difficult to track. They are capable of moving at high speed and are known to break into smaller groups, hiding in dense vegetation. Despite this natural caution, wild boars that become accustomed to invading farmland may lose their usual fear of human presence and even ignore the sound of firearms. Evidence of their activity is easy to recognize. Clear footprints on damp soil, patches of torn grass, and trails leading from the forest to farmland often indicate their movements. These traces confirm the paths they take when foraging at night or early in the morning. Ambush methods are commonly used along the edges of forests and fields, where boars frequently enter in search of food. Remaining silent and still is crucial, as the animals can detect human scent from great distances. However, when a herd does appear, the sudden rush of activity can result in several animals being quickly brought down, helping reduce the immediate threat to crops. Even younger boars, despite their smaller size, have considerable destructive power. Their presence in fields often results in uprooted plants, trampled soil, and ruined harvests. For this reason, they are considered one of the most challenging pests in agricultural regions. In some communities, hunting not only protects farmland but also provides an additional source of meat. Once the animals are harvested, the meat is often distributed among local villagers, turning a destructive pest into a resource for the community. Wild boars remain highly adaptable creatures, capable of learning and altering their behavior when pressured. While they can be elusive and cautious in untouched wilderness, those that regularly raid farms show less hesitation, making management both necessary and difficult.